Spencer Colgan here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel for wallpaper and painting. So when you're hanging grass cloth, it's one of the easiest things you'll hang, but in some areas, it's one of the hardest things to hang because it's thick and you're essentially trimming through wood. Let me show you. So anybody who hangs grass cloth knows this is pretty easy. It's very little bubbles that'll cause you a problem. And even if you have a bubble, comes right out. But here's where you run into challenge. Trimming grass cloth up against wood trim. Or trimming grass cloth up against a wall. You really have to break the spine of the wall covering in order to get a nice line here. In other words, if you just go up against here and you think that you're going to cut this like paper, well, you're going to find out you're going to be short because you're not going to have the wall, this grass cloth in the corner. It doesn't bend easily. So I want to give you a suggestion to ease your pain. So how would you go about hanging this last sheet? Knowing that the corner is a challenge, you could say, I would have started over there. Well, that presents other issues. If you start over there, you're going to come into an issue here. I thought of it too. Then you're going to come into an issue here. You're always going to have at least two corners. One on one end, one on the other, right? So how can we reduce the trouble here? Are we going to take a sheet from here to here, which is going to leave us approximately 7 inches extra. So we have to trim it before we get into that corner because you don't want to be bringing 36 inches of wall covering with 7, 8 inches overlapping over here. You want to have only an inch of grass cloth extending past the corner. Only an inch. Preferably less than that. But then if your corner is off, like that one is down there, I couldn't believe it. It's a ½ inch off. Hard to believe, but it is. Actually, take a look at it. Do you see the corner, how it kind of comes out here? So, do we take a full sheet and come all the way down? And then we're gonna trim it here and get rid of this piece? No, I'm gonna show you an alternative. You use it if you want. If not, I understand. You have enough horizontal lines in this wallpaper in order to do a splice right there. So we can hang 2 sheets here. 1 and then 2. What do you think? You want to make your life easier? And then you splice it in one of these things. You think anyone's going to see a seam here or here, and we're only talking 5 inches, right? So I think that's a good plan. What do you think? Our distance is 29.5 inches, but I'm going to cut it 30 inches so that I have a ½ inch overlapping here. It's a lot easier to break the spine of the grass cloth when I get it on here. I just hit it like that. But if you're extended over here, here's what's gonna happen. You're gonna do what I just did, and your seam is gonna pull from here. I'll show you what I'm talking about. Okay. So, I'll show you the way not to do it first. Right? And then I go to trim it. Oh. Okay. You get the idea. Let me pull this out of here. Just show them. Can you come in behind me? So you see how you don't get a nice cut up against the wall? Do you see the space there? Look at that. Who wants that? Well, I'm going to show you the right way to do it. So the way to avoid that trouble is to have a little overlap. Just a little one. Just like you would have at your ceiling and your base trim. Now, check it out. Can you bring them into the corner? All right, just zoom in a bit, just a little, not too much. I want to show them what's going on here. So now, see my right hand? I have to hold the wallpaper down so it doesn't move. Because when I do this, this is going to move. I'll show you. Okay. Now, you don't have to go behind me. Just point it over here. This is separating. So now I'm going to push it back. So now, while I'm holding this in place, I'm going to come in here and make a crease. Now, here's the trick. I'm not going on this wall. I'm going on this wall and pushing it in. You see the difference? Here's the benefit. Let me show you. So I'm going from this wall. You know that I'm only going to push in what's on this wall. If I do this, there's a chance I may not get it to bend enough. And that's what was happening. See? So I take it, I push it in. See that? See that? It's not a very good crease, right? Until I go like this from this end. I push it in. And she wants to move from here. Check your seam. Now we're good. Now we know we have enough wallpaper in the corner. Okay. So let's do our ceiling. Nice and easy. You just put enough pressure to penetrate the grass cloth or any wall cover. I penetrate the corner first, and you listen. I already penetrated it, but you just penetrate it. And that's it. You're not cutting the sheetrock. You're not cutting the tape. If you don't press too hard, you'll barely cut the grass cloth. You'll know. Now that we've done this, you could always take a stainless steel and trim it with a sharp one. Or you could do the plastic. What I like about the stainless steel is that it makes a sharper line. Okay. Now, so far so good. Now, get our trim cover. So now here is the issue. Here is the issue. Can't we just bring another piece up here and splice it in one of these horizontal lines? Let's do that. The factory corner is, you could say, well, you should be here, right? Well, then you have to work against this thing. I prefer the factory corner to be against my trim in this case. I'm going to overlap it at least an inch. And you can see the tightness of this product. can hear it. So if you come in close, now I can hold it in here and push the corner and bend the wood of the Grasscloth product. If you look closely, you'll see that I don't have it in the corner. This is not a 90-degree angle here. No. I'm just getting an obtuse angle. It's not like this. No. So I got to do a better job of bending this. So I'm going to push with my fingers. You see what I mean? Here was the corner I just showed you, right here. I still have all of this to go. And that's why I'm suggesting that you put your effort into the Grasscloth at the top by splicing it, because this is enough work to be dealing with. Okay? It's enough work rather than be dealing with a full sheet. You can see the difference in the angle here. Now this is a 90. This corner I just made is a 90. Okay, good. Oh, you want to show them that the wall covering is, just go up and down nice and close. You want to get in there against, that's it, come all the way up, nice and slow. There you go. Pay particular attention to this corner here, because I didn't show them that. I want them to see that it's in there. That's it, perfect. Come on up. Just tilt your camera like that. That's it. All right, very good. Now the only thing left to do is just trim it. Now, when you're cutting Grasscloth, you're cutting against the horizontal fibers. If you don't use a sharp blade, you're going to get a mess. You'll get a mess. And so, and this is what I like doing with Grasscloth when I cut in the corner. You bring the fibers back onto the Grasscloth. You can hear, just bring them in close. I want them to hear what they're cutting through. Hear that? Okay. If this is your first time cutting Grasscloth, use a nice sharp blade and press harder than lighter. Because it's the first time for everything. And if you don't cut hard enough, you're going to wind up with a mess. It's not going to be nice. Now, I like to make an impression, a mark. Now let's wipe that up. Sometimes I take paste and I push the material back down onto the grass cloth. Okay. See how that looks. Now let's go up and trim that at the top to make it look finished and perfect. Now at the top, I think I cut it with at least 5 inches excess. So what I'd like to do is just cut right along here. But here's the thing. If you make your cut too perfect, everybody will see it. So I don't want a perfect line, because do you see any perfect lines here? No. So why would you cut this perfectly straight? So you want to pick a section through which you drag your knife and go with it up and down if you have to. All right? So I needed 2 hands when I was cutting. I took my blade and I cut through one of the blue lines. And here's the result. See? Now if you cut it too perfectly, someone's gonna say, what's up with that? That's straight. It'll draw attention. Now, let's be honest, okay? See, we violated the threading, right? But in a 5.5 inch wide piece, no one's gonna notice that. Nobody. What do you think? What do you think?